Okay, thank you. So in the previous class, we were discussing bistable multivibrator. Okay, right? So it is very important to understand how the transistor switches. Okay, and then how we are getting the particular stable states because of the switching of the transistors. Okay, it is very important to understand, because if you understand this, understanding the next topics, which are monostable multivibrator and astable multivibrator, becomes easy. Okay, so once again, let us quickly recollect what we have discussed in the previous class. In the previous class, we started discussing multivibrators. Okay, right? And under multivibrators, we had three categories. The first one we started discussing bistable multivibrator. Under bistable multivibrator, we have again two categories: fixed bias transistor type bistable multivibrator and self bias transistor type bistable multivibrator. Okay, so we started discussing fixed bias bistable multivibrator in the previous class. Okay, so how this circuit works is, when we switch on, when we connect this, okay, and when we switch on the supply, because of the non-identical properties of the components, okay, definitely the current, see, although this is a symmetric structure, definitely current in one path will be different from the current in the other path. So let us assume that the current through Q2 is higher than the current through Q1. Okay, starting with that assumption. So what happens if this current through Q2 is higher, means Q2 is towards on, isn't it? When switch is on, the current is high. So Q2 is towards on, right? So if Q2 is on, switch, if it is on, the voltage across the on switch is ideal case 0. Okay, so now because the transistor is moving towards the on position, ideal case the voltage is 0, but it is not completely on, it is moving towards on, so we will have a low voltage at Vc2. Now that low voltage is appeared, okay, is that low voltage appears to the base of Q1, isn't it? Right? Because the Q2 is towards on direction, the voltage here will be low. The low voltage will appear at the base of Q1. Now this particular, okay, low voltage will push Q1 towards off, isn't it? Okay, low voltage, see, this is NPN, so base is P side we are having a low voltage that will push, okay, that will push Q1 towards the off position. Okay, P side high or P side positive if we give, then it is on, isn't it? But here P side we are getting low voltage. Okay, and further, see, observe here, there is a low positive voltage, there is a negative voltage, so the net voltage here, okay, has to be negative, and that should push the transistor Q1 towards the off position. Okay, now when again switch off, right, what happens? The voltage here increases. On voltage is 0, isn't it? When a switch is on, the voltage across it is 0. So if the switch is moving towards off position, obviously the voltage will be rising. So the voltage here will be rising. Okay, so when the voltage here rises, that signal is connected to the base of Q2. So the voltage at base of Q2 increases. So NPN. So P side voltage is increasing. Okay, right? So the transistor will further move into the on direction. So this will further move into on direction, and again due to the, okay, this particular regenerative feedback mechanism, due to this particular regenerative feedback mechanism, right, initially itself Q2 was towards on, but because of this regenerative, further Q2 is pushed furthermore towards on. Okay, right, and Again, due to this, okay, due to this regenerative feedback mechanism, Q1 will further be pushed towards the off position. Okay, so when this will stop is when Q2 completely goes into the on position and Q1 goes to the off position. Okay, right? So initially Q1 will be off, Q2 will be on. Q1 off means VC1 will be high. Okay, Q1 off means VC1 will have high voltage. Okay, right? See, simple. Transistor is okay on means the voltage from collector to emitter will be low. Okay, transistor is off means the voltage from collector to emitter will be high. Okay, this is the key points you have to remember. Another key point, base voltage for an NPN transistor, base voltage if it becomes high, okay, the transistor becomes on. Again, if the base voltage for an NPN transistor becomes low, what happens to the transistor? If base voltage becomes low or negative, what happens? Please answer. For
It will turn off.
Okay, so these are the key points we have to remember. Okay, right? Again, I am repeating what are the, see again, whether we were discussing bistable, monostable, astable. If you understand this thoroughly, that becomes very easy. Okay, right? So again, I am repeating, for an NPN transistor base, okay, if we give sufficiently high voltage, okay, right? So that sufficiently high base current is drawn by the transistor, that will push the transistor towards the on. Okay, right? So obviously high base voltage, or okay, when we say high, it is positive, right? The transistor becomes on. Obviously low or negative base voltage will push the transistor to off. Okay, right? Simple logic. Then when transistor is on, the voltage from collector to emitter is, okay, ideal case it is 0, practically it is 0.2 volt. Okay, practically it is 0.2 volt, ideal case it is 0. Okay, right? Practically for a silicon transistor it is 0.2 volt. Then here okay, then what happens? Next case, if the transistor is off, okay, if the transistor is off, the voltage from collector to emitter will be high. So these are the points we have to remember for any of the analysis of, okay, the multivibrator circuits. Okay, now next what we will consider here is, okay, when we provide, okay, the triggering, what happens? Now when we switch on, okay, what happens? Either of the transistor, okay, either of the transistor will turn on. Okay, one transistor will be on, one transistor will be off. Okay, so because of that, what happens? We will have, okay, one voltage high, the other voltage low. Initially, okay, for the case we have discussed, VC1 will be high, VC2 will be low. Initially, VC1 high, VC2 low. Okay, this is absolutely random. Okay, but when you start giving the triggering, then the situation is in your control. Okay, so initially we have not given any triggering, but definitely one voltage will be high, the other voltage will be low. Okay, now when we give triggering, see for example, if we give this triggering set is connected to Q1. Set is nothing but a, okay, a terminal which is connected to Q1, and to that terminal we are giving a pulse. Pulse means simply high voltage. For short duration we are giving high voltage. Okay, so what happens? We are forcing Q1 to go to on. We are forcing Q1 to go to on because we are giving positive voltage at the base of NPN transistor. So Q1 goes on. When Q1 goes into on position, okay, you know, again due to the regenerative feedback, Q2 will go to off. Okay, so when we give pulse, Q1 will become on. Okay, right? Q2 will become off. So because of this, now the switching of the transistor is reversed compared to the previous case. So obviously the voltages VC1, VC2 will be reversed. Initial case VC1 was high, now it becomes low. Okay, VC2 was low, now it becomes high. Now again, okay, again in this position, now we are here. Okay, we are here. Suppose the first duration is this, second duration, we are here. Now, if we have to change the state of this particular bistable multivibrator, where we have to give triggering. Okay, see triggering here we are only using positive pulse. The trigger here we are simply using only the positive pulse. So now in the second time duration, which transistor is on? Okay, the Q1 is on, Q2 is off. The positive pulse you can give to make, okay, to make the off transistor on, right? So obviously we will give the reset pulse. Obviously we need to give the reset pulse. So we will give here a pulse here. So that is the reason, okay, for the third duration we are giving reset pulse. First duration no pulse, automatic, okay, depending on the properties of the components, right? Next we are giving set pulse to change the states. All we are doing is we are giving positive voltage. Okay, we are giving positive voltage here, right, to the base of Q1 because Q1 was off and we are turning it on. Now this is Q1 is on second, okay, second duration, Q1 is on, Q2 is off. So we have to make, okay, in order to test the functionality of this particular bistable multivibrator, we have to give, okay, to change the state of this multivibrator, we have to give a signal here. So that is the reason reset we are giving high. Okay, so alternatively set reset, if we give alternatively, the bistable multivibrator will change its, okay, the bistable multivibrator will change its state. Okay, an important application of this is memory, right? Suppose if you want to store low, okay, use your set reset and make the voltage low. No, I don't want low, we want to delete it, okay, and then we want to change it to high, okay, logic 1 suppose. And again we can use the set and reset controls to change the state. Okay, so now that we have understood this particular bistable multivibrator, okay, right, now let us see few more circuits in order to improve the performance of this particular bistable multivibrator. Okay, so first let us see the drawbacks. Now here, suppose we connect a load. See load, either we can connect here, okay, VC2, or we can connect at VC1. Okay, so now depending on the load, suppose if we connect load here across Q1, then what happens? If the load draws high current, then there is a possibility, okay, if the design is, okay, if the design of the circuit is such that a high current, if high current is drawn by the load, So obviously the current, okay, entering the base of this particular Q2 will be affected, and it may happen that the current that we supply to turn on Q2 is not sufficient. Okay, right? There is a problem. So how to avoid that is we make use of additional diodes. Again, I am repeating. So suppose if we connect a load which draws large current, okay, then what happens? The current, see, VCC we have current flows like this, and then there is a junction. When we connect load, the current flows through the load, and the remaining current flows here. Now, if load draws more current, then the current entering base of transistor Q2 will be less, okay, and that may not be sufficient to turn on Q2, and now the functionality of this circuit may collapse. Okay, so to avoid that, what we do is we make use of additional diodes. Okay, right? We simply connect additional diodes. Okay, in addition to the previous circuit, we are additionally connecting diodes, right? And the junction of the two diodes, see again, we have symmetrical structure. Okay, so very easy to remember. Now the junction of the two diodes here, okay, we are connecting a voltage V, and it should be taken care that this voltage V is less than VCC. Now, because of this particular connection, okay, let us see what happens. Now, okay, let us take the case when Q2 is on, Q1 is off. Okay, Q2 is on, Q1 is off. Now, what happens is there is a high voltage here. Okay, we said Q2 is on, Q1 is off. Off means high voltage. Okay, right? So there is a high voltage here. Now, because of that high voltage, okay, what happens? This diode turns on. When the diode is on, okay, when this diode D1 turns on, okay, when this particular diode D1 turns on, what happens is, okay, see, on again, on means what is the voltage across on switch? Students, what is the voltage across on switch? Zero. Okay, voltage across on switch is zero. Voltage is nothing but potential difference. Okay, potential difference is zero means we can say both the terminals are at the same potential, isn't it? 5 minus 5 0, 4 minus 4 0. Okay, right? So potential difference is zero means across the switch we have same potential. Now tell me what will be the voltage at this point? Anybody please answer. We discussed D1 is on. So if D1 is on, what will be the voltage here? Students, please answer. Very easy question.
VCC.
Is it VCC or is it V? Is it VCC or is it V? Please think and answer. See, the voltage we are supplying here at this point is V. At this point is VCC. So the voltage here will be what? Yes?
V, sir.
V. Okay, right. So what actually happens is, see, if you don't have the diode, then the voltage may rise up to VCC. But because we are putting this diode and connecting a voltage here, now the voltage at this terminal will not exceed V. Okay, at any cost, the voltage here will not exceed V, right? So again, remember, ideal case we are considering. Ideal case for a diode, when it is on, the voltage is 0. Practically, it is 0.7 volt. Okay, right? Anyway, we are taking ideal case and we are discussing. So what happens here is the voltage, you see, irrespective of whatever the load we connect, the voltage here will simply restrict itself to V. Okay, right? Now, when the voltage here is V, by fixing R1, okay, by fixing R1, simply we can fix the current through this base of Q2, okay, right? And now what happens, irrespective of whatever the load we connect, still the voltage here is V, okay? So the problem which we discussed earlier, the current drawn by the load, okay, the excess current drawn by the load, right, will not affect the functionality of this circuit. Okay, we have taken the case for the voltage here and then affecting the current of affecting the base current of Q2. Again, because this is a symmetrical structure, the same, okay, explanation is valid for the next state, which is Q1 on, Q2 off, the voltage here, okay, the current here, same explanation is valid, right? So again, quickly, I am repeating, how can we control or how can we make sure that sufficient current flows through the base of the transistor, okay, when it is required to turn on the transistor. So what we do is, additionally, we connect these two diodes and a voltage here of value V, and it should be taken care that V is less than the VCC. So what happens when Q1 becomes high? Okay, sorry. Okay, let me say like this. When Q1 is off, Q2 is on. Okay, the voltage VC1 becomes high. Okay, right? And now when it becomes high, the diode D1 turns on. Diode D1 turns on means, okay, see, on means this point directly connected here. So the voltage we get now will be V. Okay. So what happens is the voltage will not exceed V. Okay. The voltage will not exceed V. So, and when the Q1 is off, okay, and Q2 is on, the voltage will be V. Okay. Right. And now when we connect a load, because we are having a supply, okay, an additional voltage source connected here, right? Then and a voltage value V appears here, that will be able to supply the sufficient base current to Q2 irrespective of whatever the load current drawn. Okay, right? So that will improve the performance of the circuit. Okay, anyway, now there is again, see, this is how any technological advancements come up, right? For example, you know how your mobile phones, every time new version keeps coming, they identify how we can improve. Are there any drawbacks, right? Rectifying the drawbacks one by one or identifying possible improvements, we get newer models. Okay. So again, what is the problem with this particular model? That is, here we are using multiple voltage sources. Okay. Even previous circuit we used plus VCC minus VBB. Okay. We are using more than one voltage sources. So this is again the problem with the fixed bias bistable multivibrator. Okay. In order to avoid that, we go for self-biased bistable multivibrator. Again, I am repeating, in fixed bias, okay, in fixed bias bistable multivibrator, whether you take this circuit or whether you take the first circuit that we discussed, we are making use of multiple voltage sources. Okay. So to avoid that, to avoid this disadvantage in fixed bias bistable multivibrator, we go for self-biased bistable multivibrator. Okay, we go for the self-biased bistable multivibrator. Okay, so what is the reason? Okay, that we are making? See, first let us discuss why we are using multiple sources. Then we can understand how to eliminate the multiple source and use a single source, right? So why we are using multiple source here? The minus VBB, it is like this actually. The positive voltage, okay, connected. For example, let us take this path. Let us take Q1 is on, Q2, okay, sorry, Q1 is off, Q2 is on. Let us take that, Q1 off, Q2 on. Now the signal will travel in this path, okay. So a positive voltage plus VCC and a negative voltage minus VBB, right? We have, so depending upon the functionality, either a positive voltage appears here or a negative voltage appears here, and that can change the state of the, okay, that can change the state of the transistor, right? So here plus VCC, okay, plus VCC, we are actually making use to push the transistor towards the on direction, minus VBB to push the transistor towards the off direction. Okay, fine. But why is it necessary that we need to connect to the base? Okay, NPN, this is the NPN transistor, right? So to turn it off, base we can connect, okay, negative, or emitter we can connect what? Think and answer. Okay, to turn the off, okay, now let us say Q1 is on, we want to turn it off. So how to turn it off? Trick is base we give negative voltage, okay, right? That will turn off. So instead of giving negative to base, what we can give to emitter? NPN transistor. Instead of giving negative to base, what voltage we can give to the emitter to get the same functionality, to turn off Q2? Students, okay, what we can do here is, see, again, this is NPN transistor, NPN transistor, right? So emitter is N type. So at the emitter terminal, if we increase the voltage, okay, if we increase the voltage at the emitter terminal, then we have, I'm talking about positive voltage, then we have NPN. In the N region, we have positive voltage, okay, and when that positive voltage is greater than the base voltage, right, okay, then the transistor can turn into the off, okay. So that is the trick we will use here. Instead of connecting to the base, now we will connect to the emitter, okay. Now we will connect to the emitter, right? Here what we do is we connect a voltage to the emitter, okay. We connect an additional voltage to the emitter. But see here, what we are doing is, we are not, okay, we are not using a voltage source. Rather, whatever the current that comes through the transistor, right, you know, current into resistance will give voltage. So we are not using an additional, again, DC voltage source. Rather, we are using the current drawn by the transistor to generate a voltage. Now that voltage appears at the N region of the transistor, and now this voltage, okay, can turn off because positive voltage at N region, right? So that can turn off the transistor provided the voltage at the base is lower than the voltage at the emitter. Okay, this junction will be reverse biased. Anyway, most of the cases we connect, say already collector is positive, so N side positive, already junction is towards reverse bias. Now this junction also, if we make reverse bias, both junctions reverse bias means transistor off. Okay, so only target is to make the emitter voltage of Q2 greater than the base voltage of Q2. Okay, so now what happens here is, again, the initial explanation similar to the previous case. The initial explanation will be similar to this circuit. Okay, then what we will discuss is, once we achieve the case, suppose once we achieve the case that Q2 is on, Q1 is off, how the state is maintained, we will discuss. Okay, so let us take Q2 on, Q1 off. So now tell me, the flow of current will be in which path? Please tell me. Okay, case 1, case 2. We are considering Q1 off, Q2 on. So the current flow will be in which path? Will it be in this path, case 1, or will it be in this path, case 2? Please answer. Okay, anyway, it is very simple. See here, if Q1 is on, you know, obviously Q2 will be off. So if Q1 is on, the current will flow like this. Okay, so the case we are discussing now is Q1 off, Q2 on, so the current will flow like this. What I am trying to say is, see, either Q1 is on or it is off. So either the current will flow like this or it will flow like this. Definitely for both the states, there will be a current flow. So for both the states, there will be a voltage generated here. Okay, so no problem that we have a required voltage that is generated for both the cases. Anyway, let us consider when Q2 is on, Q1 is off. What happens? See, the signal which comes here, it cannot flow through Q1 because Q1 is off. So it comes in this path and a voltage appears here. Okay, a voltage appears here. Now this voltage, okay, the voltage that we get here, right, it is like a voltage divider network, VCC divided between RC plus R1 and R2. That is for the case when Q1 is off and Q2 is on. Okay, now by adjusting the values, if we can maintain the voltage here, okay, greater than the voltage here, then Q1 will continue to remain in on, Q2 will continue to remain in off, right? So again, that is in the designer's responsibility to make sure that the states of the transistors are maintained. Okay, the states of the transistors are maintained. Now, if we give, okay, let us consider the case when we give a set pulse to turn on Q1. Okay, then what happens? Immediately Q1 turns on. Now the situation will be Q1 on, Q2 off. And again, because this is a symmetrical structure, what explanation I have just given is Okay, you have to do vice versa and explain. The same is valid. Wherever we had Q1, you will mention Q2. Wherever we have Q2, you mention Q1. Okay, so that is how both the states are maintained. Okay, and both the states are controlled by using set and reset. Set and reset again triggering similar to what we have seen in the previous case. Okay. So in this manner, this circuit will work as the bistable multivibrator, same as previous case, with the important advantage that we are making use of only one DC source. Okay, then now see any switching circuit, suppose your mobile phone, what happens? See, ultimately there are so many switches, right? How the mobile phone or laptop, how it is working? There are multiple, okay, billions of switching activities which are taking place, and because of that, okay, whatever, suppose the display how you are getting the corresponding pixel switches, they are turning on, turning off. Okay, so there are so many switching activities which take place, and suppose the switching is slow, then what happens? The performance of your device will be slow. So definitely we want high speed switching. For that, we make use of this speed up capacitors. What capacitor will do? Any sudden change, it will pass on. Okay. So any high alternating component signal which comes at the capacitor, it will quickly pass on, and that will speed up the performance of the circuit. Okay, so we make use of this particular commutating capacitors or speed up capacitors to make the switching faster. Okay, we will continue in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.